Peacemaker's escape to Earth X unravels into a chilling Nazi-run nightmare, proving James Gunn hides his darkest twists in plain sight. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. As it turns out, the perfect world, as Gunn likes to call it, Earth X, that John Cena's Chris had moved to was being run by Nazis. The revelation comes to Chris and Amelia, Jennifer Holland, at Alt-ARG-US, where they realize the American flags decorating the desks did not have the usual stars, but swastika symbols instead. Unfortunately, Leota, Danielle Brooks, doesn't realize it until she's out on a walk by herself, where people stare at her in disgust. Just then, Keith, David Denman, spots her and stops driving, shouting out, "One got out! A black!" causing the mob to chase after her. Talking about the twist, Gunn told Variety that he had private test screenings done of Season 2 to see if people would notice Earth X's lack of colored population. He said, no one noticed at all. And that was people of color, too, by the way. It wasn't just, the whites. The 6th episode of Peacemaker Season 2 has it all. A cameo from a Superman villain, an alternate universe, and a Nazi reveal that left viewers with their jaws hanging. Leave it to James Gunn to shock his audience with unpredictable twists and turns. In Episode 5, Chris packs up his things and permanently moves to an alternate world, abandoning his own. While things seem off from the get-go, Episode 6 proves that the inkling some viewers may have had was not for no reason, which is why he probably didn't realize that Earth X was white-populated despite the signs being clear as day. Meanwhile, Amelia knew something was wrong right from the get-go. The hardest kind of secrets to find are the ones that are hidden in plain sight, and that's exactly what Gunn did in Peacemaker Season 2. He added that Cena's character didn't realize something was off due to his tendency to judge moments based on how he's being treated. While some, like Cena's Chris, may not have realized the reality of Earth X, there were a few who noticed the absurdity of the alternate universe. Talking to EW, Gunn recalled how Episode 6 left the people around him in a state of shock. He remembers getting bombarded with messages stating, "And this morning when I read the messages about the show, there were a lot of people that were like, 'Holy God, oh my God, what the F***CK?' However, it is easier to realize something is off for those discussing the show online. Talking about how some fans predicted the unpredictable, Gunn said, "But everybody that discusses the show online already knew because either they clocked it or someone else clocked it. Because the minute you see what Peacemaker is looking at in the alternate dimension with all-white background actors, and then what happens in our dimension with a very multicultural background, immediately you've got to go, what's going on here? Is this Earth X? If you know the comics." The episode ended on a cliffhanger, and it remains to be seen what Peacemaker does next, as well as what happens to Leota. The next episode, like a Keith in the Night, will be out on October 2nd. What were your thoughts on the shocking twist in Ignorance is Chris that was hiding in plain sight? Let us know in the comments section below. While the EA buyout is still unconfirmed, the change at the top can be a double-edged sword. On the bright side, going private could give EA the freedom to rethink some of its most hated practices. Yes, we mean microtransactions. Gamers have long looked at EA games and knew they would be filled to the brim with microtransactions. You can pay your way to victory in nearly every title. So, maybe new owners might dial back the aggressive monetization, fingers crossed, and focus on fairer gameplay. But it's not always sunshine. Private equity firms like Silver Lake are famously profit-driven, and Saudi PIF's growing influence raises questions about corporate priorities and their cultural influences. Electronic Arts, EA, has been the powerhouse behind Madden NFL, EA Sports FC, and college football. But reportedly, via Wall Street Journal, it seems the company is on the brink of a staggering $50 billion buyout. Investors include Silver Lake, Saudi Arabia's PIF, and Jared Kushner's affinity partners. If this buyout actually materializes, it would be the largest leveraged buyout in history. Gamers everywhere are buzzing, not just about the sheer scale of the deal, but what it could mean for microtransactions, game quality, and the future of their favorite franchises. EA's reported buyout isn't just a big deal for gamers. As one of the biggest and most popular players in the gaming world, its move to go private has the potential to send ripples across the entire industry. Another thing to note in this buyout is the involvement of Saudi PIF, which already owns 10% of EA. It also holds stakes in Nintendo, Activision Blizzard, Capcom, Nexon, Take-Two, and SNK, and funds major esports events. James Gunn finally answers if Peacemaker Season 2 will have David Corenswet showing up as Superman after episode 6's explosive cameo. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. It's safe to say that we all share Corenswet's dismay, but Gunn wouldn't want to force the character into the story if it would not serve a purpose. His choice to bring in Lex Luthor instead of Superman was intentional, revealing in the same interview that the cameo directly impacts what happens in the next chapter of Superman's saga. Many fans were thrilled to see Nicholas Hoult show up as Lex Luthor in Peacemaker Season 2, which brings them to ask the next most sensible question: will Superman show up as well? According to James Gunn, David Corenswet won't appear in the series, much to the disappointment of viewers. Speaking with Variety, the head of DC confirmed. David was very upset that Nick got to be on the show, and he didn't. It just didn't work. Last time, the filmmaker teased a huge cameo coming our way, and many speculated it had to be Superman. There might even be one really big cameo near the end of the show, he previously told Entertainment Weekly. Well, that should be Lex Luthor, and seeing we only have 2 episodes left in the chamber, fans shouldn't expect another bombshell cameo. What Lex and Rick Flag are up to affects very much what happens in an aspect of Man of Tomorrow. So all of that is connected. But this relationship between Rick Flag and Lex Luthor is a potentially negative thing for Superman and all metahumans. Gunn plotted this out from the beginning, and while he admitted he doesn't have all the nitty-gritty details yet, he has the whole picture in mind. The DC chief said he suggested this direction to the higher-ups at Warner Brothers, so it was clear as day that Superman had to hold up a small special cameo for a much larger storyline. Adding in the same conversation with Variety, he explained why Lex Luthor had to show up in Peacemaker Season 2 and consequently why Superman shouldn't be there. The key cameo acts as a bridge between 2025 Superman and the upcoming sequel film. Episode 6 saw Lex Luthor, serving time at the Belle Reve prison, and Argus head Rick Flag Sr. strike a deal that promises redemption. Fans can already anticipate Luthor moving out of that prison and plotting another scheme that would lead to the potential events in Man of Tomorrow. That cameo was just enough to set up the stage for Superman's next journey. Do you think Superman should have a cameo in Peacemaker Season 2? Let us know in the comments. Little is known about the upcoming Superman movie, Man of Tomorrow, but Gunn confirmed in the show's official podcast channel that the cameo scene is a very important moment not only for Peacemaker but for the entire DCU franchise. What Lex and Rick Flag are up to affects very much what happens in an aspect of Man of Tomorrow. So all of that is connected. But this relationship between Rick Flag and Lex Luthor is a potentially negative thing for Superman and all metahumans. Gunn plotted this out from the beginning, and while he admitted he doesn't have all